Where are you, Johnny Juan? Where are you today? You know what? I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to ask Rory to come up here and tell you guys where we're at today and what we're doing here. I probably should have done it earlier.
That's right.
Come on in. Hey, listen. Just speak into that one.
All right, speak into this. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Rory Laney, and we are at a networking group here in Tyler, Texas called CAB, Coffee and Business 903. We're actually at the Great Harvest Bread Company on South Broadway here in Tyler. So if you're local, come on by and get you a cup of coffee and some great bread treats and all that. But I've asked Johnny Juan to speak to our group this morning about goal setting as 2024 is approaching. So without further ado, the one, the only Johnny Juan Ortiz.
Appreciate you.
I've never done that before.
Me neither. Yeah. Guys, you've heard me talk about it, that sometimes you just got to roll with it, and that's what we're doing today. But you know what? I want you to see where we're at. I want you to see, everybody say hi to the Johnny Juan Ortiz fan club. Let me put this back down. We are here at Great Harvest Bread Company here on South Broadway. Great place to come. Matter of fact, I heard Rory talk about their BLT sandwich, and it lived up to the hype.
Yes.
Every bit of it. So, yeah. And so today, kind of tell you a little story really fast, because I want to really kind of set the stage, right? There was a gentleman by the name of Howard Hill. Howard Hill was a very well and very renowned archer. Any archers in here? Bow and arrow? Okay. So he entered 187 contests, and he got first place 187 times. People stopped signing up to this contest because they got tired of competing for second place. Now, this man was so good with the bow and arrow that he took out a Cape buffalo, one of the biggest animals alive, with an arrow. A Bengal tiger with an arrow. I wouldn't have even been close enough, right? But this gentleman went on. He could actually go, hit the bullseye, take another arrow, split that arrow, time and time again. Would you say that's pretty good?
Yes.
Right? So here's the thing. He's done that. He's practiced it. He knew how to do it. And this may be a bold statement for me today, but I consider myself a good speaker, a good coach. Matter of fact, if you speak French, I consider myself a coach extraordinaire. For those of you that don't speak French, that means I'm really good. But in saying that, I could take you who have never picked up a bow and arrow before, and in 30 minutes teach you, train you, and coach you on how to consistently hit the target better and more times than Howard Hill. Provided two things. Number one, we blindfold him. Number two, we spin him around so he doesn't know where the target is. Now, you guys don't know this, but I'm also a stand-up comedian, right? Because that's a joke, right? And the question stands, well, how can you hit a target you can't see? Better question, how can you hit a target you don't even have? And since we're talking about goal setting today, I'm also going to throw in a little bonus of a performance formula that Mr. Ziglar taught. And that's basically what I do. My name is Johnny Juan. I'm a speaker, trainer, and coach with a company called Ziglar. Anybody ever heard of Zig? Sure. If you haven't, I challenge you to go on YouTube and look them up. Google them. You're going to see all kinds of things pop up. The interesting thing is that some of the principles and some of the thoughts that he taught over 5 decades now. He passed away in 2012, but some of those are more applicable now than when he taught them 50 years ago. Scary good. So I challenge you to pay attention. If you want to take notes, you can take notes. It's on Facebook Live. You can find me on Johnny Ortiz. You can go back and watch the replay later on. But here's the deal. The first thing you have to do, and Rory hit the nail on the head. If you don't have a target to hit at, you're going to hit it every time. Right? Wayne Gretzky said it another way. You'll miss 100% of the shots you never take. Imagine a baseball player. Any baseball fans in the room? Imagine going up to bat and just watching 3 strikes go right past you. Unfortunately, too many of us, too many of you have allowed that strike to come at you without even taking a swing. At least take a shot. And so today, the first thing you have to do in order to be able to hit your goals in 2024, let me back up a little bit. How many are happy with what they achieved in 2023? Can I see your hands? How many would have liked to have done more? That's my battle cry. Because Mr. Ziglar was all about be more, do more, and have more. And what better time to do that than in 2024? It actually rhymes too, right? But he said that you could be the right kind of person, do the right kind of things, so that you can have more of the good things in this life. And he also went on to say that you cannot give that which you do not have. And the ultimate gift is one of legacy. And if you do anything in this life, is to leave a legacy. And there's a difference. Mark Batterson said it right. Any Mark Batterson fans in here? I love Mark Batterson. He wrote some really, really good books. But he wrote in his one book, he said that the difference between a legacy and an inheritance is that an inheritance is what you leave to someone, right? Materialistic. And just for some of you guys, the kids are going to burn right through it. So just forget about it. But a legacy, he said, that is what you leave in someone. And I took this from my coach, Tom Ziglar. He said that he wants to leave a legacy for his kids that they're going to be able to deal and handle with life's most difficult challenges, even when he's not there. That's what he wants to relay to his children, to his kids. And so when we go back to it, right, if we identify the goal, now we have a target. And now you know what it's going to take to get there. So the second step is that you have to identify the benefits. Why do you want to hit that goal? And once you identify the benefits of hitting that goal, then you can go, this is going to be step number 3, then you can go in and identify the obstacles. How many know that anytime you set out to do something, there's going to be an obstacle getting your way? You have to identify it. You have to go ahead and anticipate it. Some people call them blind spots. I love the new vehicles now that have the little blind spot indicator, because if it wasn't for that, I probably would have been in an accident by now, right? And sometimes you can choose to override that, but it cause and effect, right? There's consequences to your choices. We're going to be talking about that here in just a second. So once you've identified your target, who knows the second one? Benefits. Then the obstacles. Then you're going to have to work on your skill and knowledge that it's going to take for you to hit that target. The reason skill is so important, check this out. Mr. Ziglar, or Tom Ziglar, was talking or listening to a podcast of Steve McKnight, and Steve McKnight said that the best way to mitigate risk, ever ready? The best way to mitigate risk is to increase your skill. I have a Facebook Live that I do every Friday. It's called Faith Your Fears Friday. And the best way to eliminate fear, you're not going to ever completely 100% eliminate. I get up here, I was nervous. I knew the group, but I was nervous. If I took my hat off, you'll see sweat coming down. Because I never know who I am speaking to that is just one decision away from a completely and totally different life. And so I love what you said, helping people become the best version of themselves. Do you know that there's another version of you waiting for you to make that decision? And here's the better part for you guys too. That decision is probably the one that you're scared to make. Probably the one that's been keeping you up late at night. Probably the one that you've been asking yourself, should I? Shouldn't I? I mean, stop it. Should I do this? Should I do that? Before you know it, you wake up 5-10 years later and you basically just should it all over yourself. You have to be careful with that one. You have to be careful with that one. I should have done this. I should have done that. Stop it. Just do it. We're fixing to get to how to actually do that, because, right, once you increase your skill and your knowledge, right, now all of a sudden you're that much closer to your goal. The next one is really interesting, and you guys will understand this one. You have to identify the individuals, the groups, and organizations that you need to partner with to be able to help you reach your goal. Probably one of the worst things, or one of the craziest things I've ever heard, is somebody stand up and say, I'm a self-made man. Really? If you look back, you're probably going to find people, organizations, and other individuals that have helped you get to where you are. Right? And so that was number 5. Number 6, no, that was number 5. Number 6 is now Now that you have all of this, now you got to take action. Now you got to develop the action plan, right? If you look at the New Testament, and if you go and read it, there's one book that takes up almost 27%, almost a third of the New Testament. Anybody know what that is? The book of Acts. Imagine if the apostles would have never taken action on what they had been taught. Whatever your belief is, even if you look at it as a history book, there would be no church. There would be no anything without the acts of the apostles. So how much more important is it for you to take action on those thoughts and ideas that you know are in there? And then the last one, now that you've developed the action plan, the last one is just to set a date. And here's where it gets real. Here's where accountability happens. Here's where all of a sudden you're now under the gun. That's where the rubber meets the road. That's where you get granular with this whole thing. And so my company, the company that I work for, it's called the Fun Life Coaching and Fun Life Community. And all it is, it sounds so simple. But I don't want you to overlook its profoundness for its simplicity. Because the truth of the matter is, I personally believe that every single one of us has an inner child that somewhere down the road, somebody started to share their opinions and what they thought you should do. And somewhere along that line, that kid gave up on their hopes and their dreams. And all the Fun Life Community is about is helping you to reactivate that childlike faith that is inside of you so that you can come out in this playground of life and live out your childhood dreams. By show of hands, how many have some dreams they want to accomplish? Every one of us. Absolutely. And the truth of the matter is, it's probably going to be for the benefit of someone else. Now, if it's for selfish reasons, you're kind of my people anyway. But it's one of those things. Mr. Ziglar always said that people do everything for 8 reasons, right? They want to be healthy, happy, reasonably prosperous. The real estate agents that I coach want to be unreasonably prosperous, and that's okay too, right? They want to feel secure. They want to have good friendships. They want to have great family relationships. They want to have hope in the future, hope that the future is going to be better than today. They want to have peace of mind. And then the last one is they want to love and be loved. And those are the primary motivating factors. And I teach that inside 8 key areas of people's lives: mental, spiritual, physical. Those are what I call the private victories. Then you have your family, your financial, your personal career. And then I added community because nonprofits are very, very, very important to me. Matter of fact, I do a lot of volunteering over at PASS, so I'm glad to see you here. I'm going to put in some good work for Miss Andrea with you. But that's why we do what we do. And then a guy named Stephen Covey, I don't know if you've heard this, he wrote a really good book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. What a lot of people don't know is that he wrote another book called The 8th Habit. And that 8th habit is broken down into 2 parts. One is first to help you find your voice. And then the second part is to help others find theirs. And that's what I'm doing inside this Fun Life community. 8 key primary motivating factors, 8 key areas of people's lives, 8 habits to be able to help you be more, do more, and have more. Really, because it's all about fun. Because I don't care what you do for a living. Real estate, insurance, hair club for men, whatever that is, man. I don't care what you do. I don't even care how you do it. I want to know why you do it. Because if we can identify your why, right? There's a really good book out there called Starts With Why. But if you identify your why, and if you put them in circles and you do a Venn diagram where those 3 circles intersect, right there, that's what I call the Fun Life. The Fun Life community. Bless you, that's nothing to sneeze at. I try, right? I try. Y'all don't know this, but I'm working on my stand-up comedian routine, so please just laugh, even if it's not funny for the audience. But that's truthfully, really kind of what this thing is all about. And, you can say to yourself, well, I just don't know if right now is the right time. Newsflash, it's never going to be the right time, right? I don't know if I should. I don't know if, there we go. Stop it. I don't know if I should do this. I don't know if I should do that, right? And the whole program is called Choose to Win. I call it the foundational program of the Ziglar Performance, really the whole programs that we offer. But the reason I call it the foundational program is because that's where we establish our foundation. And foundations are huge. Matter of fact, for those of you that are watching, I put on there that we have a performance formula. And really, he said that what you put into your mind is so important. Tom Ziglar said that what we feed our minds determines our appetite. And so what are you putting in? What's going into your mind? He said that you are what you are because of what's gone into your mind. You are where you are because of what's gone into your mind. He didn't stop there, though. He said that you can change what you are. You can change where you are. If you're not happy with the results that 2023 gave you, you can change that because you can change the input that goes into your mind. You can read more. You can watch better podcasts. If you're going to be on social media, find good stuff on social media. Don't just mindlessly scroll. I'm going to go ahead and give you a little hint. It doesn't end. There's no bottom. I see people all day long doing this like they're trying to get to the bottom. It's not a race. You're never going to win. But Mr. Ziglar did say that life is an exciting and never-ending journey. And the people that I coach, you guys watching on, you've heard me say this before, your joy is in your journey. And that's what's so important about this, because the performance formula is this. And I was never really good at math, so I love how Mr. Ziglar was able to simplify this. A times E times S equals P. Sounds like an algebra equation, right? Attitude times effort times skill equals performance. So for simple math, if attitude is 1, effort is 1, skill is 1, what does that add up to? A times E times S equals 1. I'm going to help you out with the easy one. Okay? But if you only increase your attitude, now you've got 2 times 1 times 1. What does that equal? 2. You've just doubled your performance. That's what's so important about your attitude. He said it's your attitude, not your aptitude, thank goodness, that's going to determine your altitude, how far you're going to go in life. Right? I remember hearing him tell a story about a kid that was talking to his dad. He was buying a balloon, and he asked his dad, he goes, "Dad, which balloon is going to fly the highest?" And his dad took that opportunity to share with him. He goes, "It's not the color of the balloon that's going to determine how high you go. It's what's inside." So I simply ask you today, what's inside? What are you putting inside? What are you feeding your mind, right? There's a really good book that talks about feeding your mind the good, the clean, the pure, right? The positive. If there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things, right? That's a really good book. I don't know if anybody's read that book, but it's a really, really good book. It basically stands for basic instructions before leaving Earth. Because if the Earth keeps doing what they're doing, we may be going home sooner than we think. Well, that's my opinion anyway. But seriously, now imagine if you go 2 times 2 times 1. Now you've increased your attitude. Now you've increased your effort, right? Because if I come to you and say, "Hey, I know you're new at PATH, but I love your attitude. I love how you're getting out of the community," right? You're now probably going to do a little bit better effort. Now you've got a better attitude, more effort, and even though you're new, you probably don't have the skill set yet, but we can work on that later. I would rather take somebody that has a good attitude than somebody that doesn't have a good attitude. I don't care what their skill level is. There's more businesses that have those people, and you know who I'm talking about. There's more businesses that have that person that company would benefit and make more money and be more profitable if they send that person home for the day with pay. True. Right? There's just some people that light up a room when they come in. Yeah. Yeah. But there's some people that light it up when they leave. I'm just telling you, that's how this whole thing works. So one of the interesting things about this whole deal, now imagine increasing your attitude, increasing your effort. Now you're increasing your skill, right? That was number 4 in the goal setting and in the 7-step goal setting formula, right? And that's what's so beautiful about it. I just told you earlier, I wasn't that great at math. But if I ask right now, what's 3 times 3? 9. 9. You almost messed it up for me, man. Right? Let's try it again. 2 times 2. Okay. But what if I told you what's 5,183 times 2,412?
A lot.
Right. Now, obviously, you're not going to spit it out like you did the 4, the 6, or the 8, or the 9. But you know the formula, right? You know the process. And I like to cook. I know you can't tell. For those of you in the back of the room, I'm not as tall as I sound, right? You guys can't see it on the screen. But if you know the recipe, a guy said success leaves clues. And really what you do in life, whether it's real estate, whether it's coaching, whether it's insurance, no matter what it is, selling or whatever it is that you do is nothing more than asking a series of questions in a specific sequence to uncover an underlying issue. Asking questions. I can't tell you what to do. I can just simply ask questions. And by asking those questions, all of you guys are going to be able to come up with your own definition. Because if we went around the room and asked what does success mean to you, we're probably going to get about that many different results, that many different things for success. Because we can't change that. And so once you go in and you increase your attitude, increase your effort, now you're getting better at it, I'm telling you, 2024 is going to be awesome for some of you. It's going to be incredible for you because you're going to be more. You're going to be able to do more. You're going to be able to have more, right? And I tell people, I want you to have more so that you can give more, so that you can serve more. There's a lot of people that come to Path at the Pantry. I volunteer at the pantry. I love Path. And there's people that come through there, and I noticed, I haven't been in a while, so I'm sorry. But I noticed that when they were there, they would kind of come in with, almost embarrassed to be there. All I would do was just, hey, thanks for coming in. I'm glad you're here. Mr. Ziglar always said, if you see somebody without a smile, give them one of yours. My goal is to help you really activate that childlike faith. I mean, do you remember being on the playground? Anybody get in a fight? Well, what happened? You made up, you went back to playing. But now, somebody looks at you wrong. Oh, well. Right? You're offended. And you keep that offense. And now you're an adult. You know what? I'm tired of adults. I don't know about you guys. I'm done with adults. I want to find those kids that want to be a kid again. I hate that Toys R Us is no longer a business because, right? I'm a Toys R Us kid. I don't want to grow up. I don't have a choice of growing old. But I don't want to grow up. I want to keep that childlike faith because the book that I read, the author said that unless you be converted, unless you become as a child, you're not even going to see. I mean, if you think this playground is awesome, I can't wait to see that playground. And that's why, thank you. That's why I do what I do. And so again, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off, but I want you guys, if you have questions, I'm going to stick around. Ask me, feel free. We can go around and do the rest of this thing. But thank you guys so much for popping in with us. Let's see who's on there. Hey, Steve, good job. Barbara, thank y'all guys for coming on here. I'm going to go ahead and end this, and we